There's so many gaping holes in this conversation.
It doesn't work in 2025.
Yeah, this is how you lose your leads.
If you're a real estate agent, shouldn't you know that?
This is how you end up with them working with somebody else.
He made an assumption, and hopefully our audience will see what the assumption was.
Cash call, everybody. Dale Archdekin and Brian Curtis back again today. We're going to talk about some calls, Brian. We're going to listen to some of these sales conversations, and we're going to do our best that we can to help these people and to help you listening. Hopefully you'll get something from this.
Yeah, absolutely.
People all the time are like, oh my God, you're dropping new episodes. I love it. Yes, we're dropping new episodes. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe now. It will help our algorithm to find more sales people just like you that need the sales gospel from me and Brian.
I like it, Dale. It sounds like a great idea there. And, it's funny because we have a tendency to do these in bulk. Like we'll do 3 or 4, and then both Dale and I have had some life happen. So we appreciate the fact that we have people who show up and are interested in it. So it's a nice feeling for sure.
Yes. All right. So today, I got a call where I know there needs to be more discovery. I know there needs to be more information here. We'll kick it around and see what we think, where we could have gone with it. But I just feel like there's a lot of shallowness to this conversation, and also kind of gets into the classic problem of, do I only show a house to somebody who's actually qualified, or do I get out there and meet somebody to build a relationship kind of question?
That's a really great question. And I will tell you that I used to just be pretty hardcore on this. If somebody isn't pre-qualified, in fact, I actually teach people not even ask them if they're pre-qualified. And the reason I do, and I don't know where you fall on this, Dale, but I would rather have people go on too many appointments with bad people than not go on enough appointments. So I would default there. And me personally, if I'm super busy, then I'm only going to work with people who I know are a good amount of my time. So to me, it really depends on where you are. So, I had a coach say this one time, the solution to working with crappy clients is to lead generate so then you can fire the crappy clients. So
I've said the same thing. I just do it shorter. If you don't like your clients, get more clients.
There you go.
Yeah.
How do you get more clients? Get out
lead generate.
Lead generate and listen to Cash Call.
Listen to Cash Call. There you go. Lead generate better. What do you got for us today?
It's interesting. I've got a call, and I'm not going to say specifically because I think it would be good for the audience to hear it live. But in my opinion, there was a piece of information given which caused the agent to go, and you don't necessarily hear it, but you hear all of the conversation after that just kind of goes, I'm like, why did we give up? So
all the air went out of the balloon.
Yeah, all the air went out of the balloon, and he made an assumption, and hopefully our audience will see what the assumption was. And the assumption may actually be correct, but we don't know.
All right. So I'm going to start.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and just play this whole thing. I had to listen to it a couple of times because with the lack of discovery that he does, I was like, does he already know a lot about this lead or not? Because it came from somebody else, and he said, so-and-so said you wanted to look at some houses, right? But he doesn't give any other information, and it doesn't seem like he had a lot of information. With some of the questions that he asks, I can tell he didn't have a lot of information. And so I'll just play it for you guys, and then we'll talk about it.
Sounds great.
Hello. Oh, just yeah. It is If he reaching out to you, I know you were speaking to about possibly looking at some homes.
Okay, now obviously the intro, he asked if it was her, and he waited. He said this is name with the whatever team, and swung up on the end and waited. And so he was just waiting for her to recognize. And it's just not a great way to go about it, right? We talk about this a lot of times. I feel like I can't play it. For anybody who hasn't watched a bajillion Cash Calls already, I feel like we have to cover this.
Absolutely.
Whenever you call somebody, know their damn name. It's them. Whoever answers that phone is the right person.
Yes.
The only person who calls your phone in the year 2025 and doesn't know it's you when you answer, ding, 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 telemarketers, salespersons, right? Salespeoples. Nobody wants to talk to salespeople, generally speaking. We're like the police. People only want to talk to us when they need our help, right? Otherwise, they don't want to mess with us. Okay, so you know that it's then when you say this is so-and-so from the whatever team, just either follow through with, does that ring a bell for you? Or do you know who I am? Or just go into what the hell you want, right?
I agree. It's interesting. There's laws, and I'm sure they're in every state, against blind marketing and blind marketing for real estate. You have to say who you are. And it used to be nice to be like, hey, if I could blind market, that'd be great. That doesn't work in 2025. The second you don't let somebody know who you are, all you're doing is building tension for them and making them more resistant to having a conversation with you. Hey, this is Brian Curtis, Curtis Realty Group. I'm following up on our conversation from last week. Bob on our team said you were looking to talk to an agent and therefore I'm giving you a call. Oh,
Yes.
okay. You're not some person I don't want to talk to. I actually did tell somebody I wanted to talk to you.
Right. And the point is that when you go in confidently, when you go in knowledgeable and confidently, you set the game up to where you are a knowledgeable professional. You're in the right place, talking to the right person for the right reason, and you are validated versus going in blind, almost blind, or like, hey, not sure if this is you. Can you tell me if this is the right person? Maybe you know who I am. That's absolute weak sauce, and you don't want to be there, right? So
agreed.
Much more productive, much easier. Go in assumptively, go in knowledgeably, and you can deliver the same amount of information and the same information in a much better way. And it just sets a different tone for the call. Okay, so he said, so-and-so said you wanted to look at some house.
I want to see when you're looking to take a look. Get you over there in Pikesville. Oh, I'm sorry, not Pikesville. I'm in. Yeah. He sent me over 3 of them. One was on Onyx, Anthony, and Arian. When were you looking to get into one of those homes and take a look?
Okay, good. When do you want to go see them? Right.
Yeah.
But it takes 33 seconds of a call to get to that. And there's a lot of roughness to this.
Yeah, again, this person's, you can tell they're slightly confused. And honestly, then he got the town wrong. I don't know if that matters or not. It didn't add to the level of confidence, I can tell you that.
Didn't add to the level of confidence, no. Listen, we all make mistakes. I get it. But maybe just before you make the dial, just rehearse it real quick, right? Just run through it real quick so that you get it down, you know what you're going to say, so that you're not figuring it out on the fly.
Yeah, and let's just talk about this real quick. So that's not true for lead generation, by the way. If you haven't spoken to somebody, don't spend 15 minutes reviewing their file before you call them, because then when they don't answer, now you've lost 15 minutes and you're completely costly wasting your time. But a person who is somebody who's theoretically the conversation should have gone, hey, Bob said you wanted to go look at some houses. When do you want to look at some houses? And then set the appointment. You might spend a minute prepping for that call.
Yeah. If you're not super confident or if you don't do it all the time, yeah.
I guess I could just wait until tomorrow now. I was trying to, do it earlier, but if you have something available for tomorrow.
I'm going to hit this to 1.25.
Let's take a look here.
Yes, it said right there.
Yeah.
Seriously.
If you're watching this video, comment in what you would have done here, whether or not you would have just yesed her and moved on with discovery, or whether you would have tried to functionally figure out, can I show you these houses at that time tomorrow? So I have 2 schools of thought. I mean, we obviously have talked about this before, Brian. If it's a complete stranger, new lead, and I'm trying to convert the lead, the answer is always yes.
Yep.
And build rapport and do discovery.
Exactly.
This fish is solidly on the hook, right? She inquired, wanted to see some properties. We're calling her back. She's with us to set these appointments. So, if you do it functionally okay, then you do your discovery. I think that's not terrible. What do you think?
This could be much smoother. So, and all I'm saying is I'm double check on that. While I'm doing that, discovery question. Because now, we don't believe in multitasking per se, but I can multitask that. Like I can click in the MLS and listen to you, bedrooms, bathrooms, square foot, price range, reason. I can do those things. If you I can't look at the MLS and listen to the client, then listen to the client.
All right. So now he's trying to figure out, can we do it?
That's 3 o'clock look for you, or 2.
Yeah, that'll work tomorrow. Yes.
All right. And which one did you want to go to first?
It doesn't matter. However you want to set it up, it doesn't matter.
Okay. What I know. Is this going to be your first time seeing a home with an agent?
Good question.
It's a great question.
Went and saw a couple of houses yesterday, but it was they was with agents. But I don't have an agent of my own. I'm just looking at houses.
Saw a couple of homes yesterday with an agent, but I don't have an agent of my own.
So I'm going to ask a quick question. I'm assuming this call is after August of 2024, correct?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
This call's a couple weeks ago.
Okay. And the reason I ask is, sometimes we play older calls and we have to say it would be a much different conversation before August 17th of last year, right?
Yep. Right. But no, this is a modern call that is subject to certain restrictions. Okay. So she said, yeah, I saw a couple homes with an agent, but I don't have an agent, my own agent.
Gotcha. You're not committed to an agent yet?
Yeah, I'm not committed to anyone.
where are you in the home search? Have you talked to a lender, or are you just really starting?
I would still at this point in time immediately ask them if they've signed anything, because sometimes people just sign shit and have no idea what they've signed, and they might have an agent. They just might not be aware of it.
Yes. With this person, if she saw a couple of houses yesterday with some agents, the likelihood that she signed something is very high.
It should be close to 100%.
Well, should be.
Close. I said close.
Should be.
There's nothing that's 100%, but it should be in the high 90% that this person signed some document. Now, again, it could have been a one day. Like sometimes agents do that. Hey, just sign this. It's only good for today, or it's only good for this house. But she probably signed something.
Yep.
I'm just starting. Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to keys in hand, when is your ideal date to have keys in hand? Have you thought about that yet?
Probably in the next 3 months.
3 months.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so all three houses are, one's 400, one's 369, one's 364. Have you thought about I know you haven't talked to lenders, so you don't really know your buying power yet.
Right.
Have you thought about where you want to be?
Oh, he said, I know you haven't talked to a lender yet. So that must be a piece of the discovery that came up from whoever caught the lead initially.
Yeah, it feels like an ISA, but I don't know.
Yeah, somebody gave him this person, must have determined that they had not gotten pre-qualified yet. So listen to the way that he asks this.
Have you thought about I know you haven't talked to lenders, so you don't really know your buying power yet.
Right.
Have you thought about where you want to be just off of feel maybe? Or like maybe you play with a calculator and like think that might be the payment you want?
Yeah, 400, I guess, and below. 400.
Okay.
Yeah, so those were like the houses that I was looking at. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what I would say. He moves on from the financing question. So I did mortgages way back in the day. You have a mortgage company, right?
Yep.
Now, a lot of agents, if you're an experienced agent, you have at least a basic understanding of how financing goes, right? You either got to have a job or you have to have been self-employed for at least 2 years and have tax returns to show for it, right? Mm-hmm. And then anybody who either rents a property or wants to buy a property, although they may have one idea about how much they want to spend on the house, they all definitely know what they feel comfortable spending monthly. So there's 2 things that I would do in this conversation before I let the financing part go. One is I would double check, I would pressure test this 400 and below comment with oh, got it. So where are you thinking you want your monthly payment to be? What do you feel comfortable with, right? Yep. So I'm going to pressure test it with the monthly payment to get from her, guaranteed she can give you an answer. And then I'll maybe play with the numbers. Well, do you think you could go up to this? You know, if 400 puts you in this range, would that be comfortable? Kind of like as just conversationally, I'm going to ask her what she does for a living and how long she's been there, because I want to know how long she's been employed.
You know, some interesting things happen. And I was actually clicking through Zillow because I haven't looked at this in a while. And here's why I'm saying Zillow. I used to get phone calls. Now, this is the days when houses, you could buy one for $100,000. So bear with me. But people would be like, yeah, I want to buy that house at 123 Main Street. It looks like it's about $350 a month. So what? Sad truth. So what was that? It was an assumptive interest rate, 20% down, PI only, principal and interest only. So people would think that they could buy this $100,000 house for $300-400 a month. And that's not true, as you know.
I'll take several of those. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously. Where do I sign, right? You know, a $400,000 monthly payment today is, I'm just going to do some quick math here. So bear with me. 360 interest rates. Let's assume 6.25.
Are you using Alabama numbers or are you using Miami numbers? Or you're Arkansas? Using Arkansas numbers or Miami numbers?
Principal and interest is all I'm doing. Okay. So because it's interesting, it looks like I'm actually on a website. I'm actually on Zillow. It looks like they've included some additional things. They're not assuming 20% down anymore. So it looks like they fixed that, but that doesn't mean they're not on some Yahoo site who's got, hey, you can buy a $400,000 house for $2,500 a month. Because by the way, principal and interest on a $400,000 house is about $2,500 a month. Actual payment is probably closer to $4,000 a month, you know, after you put in mortgage insurance and all that kind of stuff. So it's really important to ask the question that Dal said, what is your monthly payment that you're looking for? Oh, I'm looking for $2,000 a month. Well, you're not buying a $400,000 house then.
Right. And the reason that I'm saying that, everybody, is because, you know, I don't want to scare this prospect away by insisting that she's pre-qualified or not. I just want to do a little fact check and see if your numbers are aligned, if your expectations are aligned, and if you feel comfortable and confident that you could afford X number per month. If you can say yes to that, I'm going to get out there and meet with you so that I can build a rapport with you so that you're more likely to buy with me than anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of this. Like, this is how I'd pre-frame it. So I understand you haven't been pre-qualified yet. That's fine. Is it okay if I ask you just a couple of questions about financing to make sure that what you're looking at is in line with what's available? Oh, yeah, sure. Great. And then I would just ask them those questions. What are you looking for a monthly payment? Oh, $2,000 a month. Okay. Is that the max, or is that what, because all of a sudden, to Dale's point, I might be showing somebody who wants to buy a $400,000 house and just can't, or is unwilling to make the monthly payment. I mean, maybe they can, but they're unwilling to make the monthly. What do you do for a living? I drive an Uber. Nothing wrong with driving an Uber, but you're probably not going to have $4,000 a month monthly payment on your house if you're driving an Uber.
If you're the only one paying for it, probably not, right? Which is the other thing. Let's listen to this. Such a lack of discovery here, right?
Anthony, I'm just trying to see which one looks best to start off with.
Okay.
Anthony, I think, is going to be in the best shape for you. And I'm actually very familiar with that. Let's start off with Anthony. We'll meet tomorrow at 3.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot you a text. You have my cell phone number. If anything changes, let me know. We'll make it work.
Okay.
And then my name is if you forgot.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions on the home buying process? Would this be your first time? I forgot to ask you that. Would this be your first time you purchase?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when we meet, I'll kind of go over the home buying process real quickly. It's confusing. You're going to be online. You're going to see 30 different things, and probably none of them are going to relate to you because our market's different, and each person's scenario is different.
Okay.
So I'll get the schedule. We'll meet tomorrow.
Okay.
If you have any questions in the meantime, reach out to me. I love talking real estate. My wife hates it, so I need somebody to talk about it.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'll see you tomorrow.
One obvious problem, no BBA mention, right? No BBA at all, buyer-broker relationship agreement. And, she's a first-time buyer. The likelihood that her financial numbers are not where she anticipates them to be or doesn't have the right information goes way up.
Through the roof.
She's a first-time buyer and has not spoken to a lender yet. And if she's a first-time buyer, you got her on the phone right now. Brian, honestly, I would be like, hey, can we jump on a Zoom right now for like 5 or 7 minutes and I can just quickly go through the buying process with you and answer several burning questions you probably have, right? I'm sending you the Zoom link right now. Let's jump on video and talk to each other.
Absolutely.
No reason not to.
You're probably only going to get about a 20 to 25% buy-in on that question. So if you ask it 2 or 3 times and you still get no, please ask it again, because the reality is most people are going, well, no, I'm busy, da-da-da. But that 25% that hops on, they're yours. So, it's okay to get a no. And again, I just want people to know that is not a question you should expect a yes from 100% of the time. So please don't try it once and go, it doesn't work.
You guys know that you got to talk about the BBA in order to show a house. And I believe is there any state that isn't doing that?
Dale, I hate universals. So I'm going to say, as far as I know, no. But, there's probably somebody who doesn't need it. They opted out of the lawsuit or something like that. But then 99% of the people, you need to get buyer agency.
How about this? Best business practices are that you have a professional conversation with somebody and you let them know, that there's a document that says what happens if they buy the house and how you'll work with them and how you will get paid. And you're more than happy to review that with them.
Yeah.
With this person, you need to talk about it because they already looked at houses with agents and we covered that part. So all those things are missing in this call. And again, we say this all the time, right, Brian? Somebody listens to that call. They're like, I booked an appointment. I'm great, right? Had a conversation, did some discovery, I booked a call. There's so many gaping holes in this conversation that, I just said this today I was being interviewed on a podcast. And I said a lot of the problems with salespeople is that when you don't know why you win and you don't know why you lose, it makes it hard for you to go out there and do it again, have another conversation or work the leads, because then it's just mystery to you. There's a lot of ways to lose in that call we just heard.
It really is. It's so interesting that you're talking about that, Dale, because it's getting to that time of the year where we start talking about goal setting, which is crazy. But as we record this, it's September 19th. And for me, you start setting goals in October for the next year. That's just kind of my general philosophy. So I've been working on this. And one of the things that I think, and it just kind of hit me as you said that, real estate agents, professionals, business owners, whoever it is, we need feedback loops. And most people don't have one. So in other words, I booked a call, good call. Okay, well, why didn't you close? Well, I mean, why didn't that person buy a house? I don't know. Or why didn't that person list with me? I don't know. If you do not have a feedback loop, then you're just guessing. And I don't know about you, but this business is hard enough when you have the feedback, let alone when you're just guessing.
You know what I can hear happening? When I'm the sales manager and I come to this agent and I say, hey, what happened to Tasha? You showed her house. What happened? I don't know. She ghosted me. Why isn't she answering your calls? Like, what's going on? I don't know. Well, it's right. The gaps are in this call.
Yeah, there's a good chance this woman doesn't even show up because 3 other agents have a conversation with her between now and when you book this appointment. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because clearly she doesn't understand what the rules of real estate are. If she's looked at multiple houses with multiple agents and doesn't know if she signed a buyer agency agreement, she doesn't know. And I'm not blaming her. I'm blaming the other agents who didn't bother to explain it to her clearly. But
I mean, I know this agent, great guy, but also a little bit's on him. Like he didn't ask. He didn't
no,
find out.
absolutely. But my point is, it never should have gotten to him. The other agent who showed this person a house also didn't do their job because this woman's not aware of a buyer agency agreement. She doesn't know if she signed anything. She doesn't understand the process at all. So is there going to be a second or third agent who...
I didn't even catch the fact that she doesn't know the process and has already been out looking at houses with agents. Like what were those agents doing?
Right. Huge opportunity to go, hey, it sounds like no one's really gone over the process with you. I think it's important when you do something to just not wing it. Why don't we jump on a Zoom meeting real quick, like Dale said, after we meet at the house tomorrow, let's set up, there's a Starbucks over here. Let's sit down and have a conversation so we can make sure it's something. You've got to educate this person. And by the way, the person who educates them is probably going to be their agent.
Yes. Agreed. All right, Brian. Show us what you got.
So I'm just going to preface this call a little bit. This is some similar concept. You guys would think that Dale and I got together and had a conversation today. We decided to talk about discovery. That's not what happened. We have a green room discussion before we hop in here, but we don't agree on what we're going to do. So this call here is also a call about poor discovery. And I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. I think you guys will see what happens.
It's really common, Brian.
Hey, good evening. I see you're checking out First Street in, is that correct?
Yeah, I thought it was pending. I just figured I'd send an email and
yeah. Pardon me. Yes, it is pending. I can check on the status of this and see if it's looking like it's going to carry through to closing. But in the meantime, what was it about this property that got your attention?
Was really excited when he asked that question. I mean, it wouldn't have been the exact verbiage, but good enough, right?
I'm doing good, man.
I'm like, yes. I was listening. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's great. I love to hear that stuff. What's the other thing that happens that's bad?
I'm just going to play it.
Oh. Well, no, what I meant was you
okay.
did a good thing when the guy said, I think it's pending, but I wanted to reach out anyway.
Yes.
The bad thing that agents sometimes do is they'll start doing word vomit where they're like, oh yeah, it means it's under agreement. They're not accepting any more offers or doing showings, nail in the coffin. You just can't have this thing that you want. And then they're like, but why won't you stick around and talk to me about me being your agent? I don't get it. Right. And the lead wants to get off the call. This guy did a great job.
Yeah. So great job so far.
Just anything under 100,000 is pretty hard to find these days, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me check on the status of this offer and make sure it's going to carry through. And if there's any possibility that it might come back on market, I can let you know here. Is the area you'd like to land, or are you open to any kind of?
I just got a new job at.
Oh yeah, okay, just outside of town.
And I don't want my daughter. She's 3.5. I really don't want her to go to those schools.
So everyone understands the town that he's talking about living in is a small rural town. In comparison, it's, I don't know, there's probably 150,000 people in it's a college town. So definitely a different demographic, a different type of school. A lot of people like the small schools. Hey, I want my kid to actually be able to get on the football team and, and those kind of things. And so that's where you get in that conversation, just so people understand that.
So he wants his kid not go into he wants his kid in a small town.
Right. He wants to be in the small town school, which is where this house is. Okay. So one of the things, and since we've stopped it, I'm just going to talk about this. You could almost hear the deflation in the agent when he said the $100,000 thing. So here's the thing. I agree. There's not a lot of houses for $100,000, but why did we make the assumption that was the guy's price point? Maybe he just got excited because he saw a $100,000 house. I mean, if I could buy a $100,000 house,
I'll buy one. That's not in a war zone.
Right, exactly. But that doesn't mean that's that guy's budget. And I think that's one of the big things we missed here. Oh, 100,000, there's not a lot of those houses. That's true. Great. Out of curiosity, do you have a budget in mind? Would have been a really good discovery opportunity right there, in my opinion.
So he never asks what the guy's budget is?
I don't believe so. Let's listen.
You'd like to get her there to the local smaller district?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which is part of the school district, or?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Okay. I figured. Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
By
Well,
the way, I wouldn't have said that either. He just showed that he doesn't know what schools go to different schools, because some schools districts are so small that they go to another city. And I'm not saying that you have to know all that, but he didn't have to tell him that he didn't know.
Right. Yeah.
Just a little thing. Not a big thing, but a little.
I think a general rule I try to follow, and of course we all make mistakes,
Absolutely.
is I try not to know something that you don't want me to know, or know something that you don't want to know from me. And I try not to reveal what I don't know unless I'm doing it strategically.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And this was just someone going, oh, gee, that's really good. I'm glad I know that now. That doesn't impress me. You're supposed to be the expert.
Right.
And I don't think this guy had any clue. I don't think he picked up on it.
No.
And understand that there are people who, like me and Dale, who will pick up on that stuff. You don't want to lose, because I'm going, really? You don't even know what school district this is in? You're a real estate agent. Shouldn't you know that?
Yeah. And so there are people like Brian who will judge you
Yes.
based on things they think that you should know. So do not reveal these things to them, because, you just never know how people think about stuff. Like literally people perceive things so differently. This guy on the call was like, whatever, I don't care whether you know that or not. Right.
Right.
It's
person will
be like, why don't you know that?
Another example of, oh, that was just fine to say that. See, nothing bad happened. Just because it didn't happen bad this time doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
Right.
maybe make sure I have a good callback number for you here. Okay. Yep.
And I didn't know. I figured you're local, but just in case.
Yeah, I know. It just actually right after you said it, it popped up in my my file here. So yeah, Danny, I will be in touch with you and try to find any other options for you. Should this one not be a possibility?
You know what he's looking for.
I'm not sure how he's going to do that, but
How do you know what he's looking for? You didn't even ask him.
So yeah, this guy would have talked to you for 10 more minutes. Clearly, I think he was fine. Hey, perfect. Let's see what else is available. I mean,
Was that it? Was there just no wrap up either? There was no, don't call another agent, only call me. I'll show you all the stuff. I have access to everything. Okay.
No, he's going to check, and if the house falls out, or apparently he's going to use magical criteria. And I'm just kidding, but there's nothing like, oh my God, this calls a train wreck. But it is, because
It's terrible.
this guy wants to buy a house. He basically said, I want to buy a house.
Yep.
And we know where he wants to buy a house. And the good news is, okay, so there's nothing good or bad about it. You can probably buy a decent house for $200, $250. It's not going to be a mansion, but probably 20 minutes away, that same house is another $100,000. I mean, it's one of those things where you're kind of out in the sticks, and so you can buy more house. This is a guy I would want to work with, assuming he can buy a $200,000 house, but we don't know because we didn't ask.
No. Yeah, this is how you lose your leads. This is how you end up with them working with somebody else. And you follow up 30 days later, 60 days later, and they're like, I bought a house. And then you're all upset about it. This is how that happens.
And you go, this guy screwed me over. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. So discovery. Here's the super simple sauce that I teach. Every single time you talk to a prospect, as much who, where, when, why, what, and how much that you can get from them. Okay. Or the old school LP mama, whatever the hell you want to do. But for us, I remember who, where, when, why, what, and how much.
That's what we teach here, Dale. I agree.
Yeah, every time, every single time. And there's a couple of reasons that I tell people why you have to do this. One, it builds more rapport. Two, it sets you up for what the next follow-up is going to be, which will be better than do you want to buy or sell yet. And three, because nobody likes talking to a salesperson, if they give you their full story, they are much less likely to give that full story to another salesperson later on.
It's actually part of my button up, Dale. I'll say that. I'll say, like, look, unless you want to go through another 20-minute interrogation next time you see a house, and depending on my level of rapport, you got to be careful. But I make a joke about it. Like, even though we've only been on the phone for 7 minutes and I did a full discovery, I'll say, unless you want to do another 20-minute call with somebody else, oh no, that sounds freaking horrible. I'll just call you. You seem just fine. Because that's the truth. For most people, yeah, they want someone they've got rapport with, and that's great. But at the end of the day, if they don't hate you and you have a system to follow up with them, to meet with them, to do that, they'll just work with you. As long as you're not a screw up, they will work with you if you do your part.
When I'm teaching this to like students, I'm like, listen, you got a leak at your house. You start calling plumbers. The first plumber you talk to who sounds like they know what they're doing, they can handle your problem, and they're willing to come out and look at it. How many more plumbers do you call?
Right.
You don't, right? problem solved. Okay, good. So be their problem solved. Get it all from them so that they don't have to feel like compelled, or they can actually feel like, I'm not going to have this conversation again with another agent.
Right. And here's the thing. This call was, for the buyer, was 2 minutes and 6 seconds long. He doesn't have pain yet. Like, he'll call. He'd be happy to talk to somebody else.
Yep. Talk to anybody who calls him.
Yeah, we have not done any of that. And guys, who, what, why, where, when, and how? Like, I don't even remember what LP Mama stands for. I used to know, but we all learned that, like, when we were 4 years old. Who, what, why, where, when, how. Like, it's in here. And by the way, I don't know if you guys are doing it. If you're like, man, Brian, I don't know what you're talking about. Great. Get a piece of paper and write who, what, why, where, when, and how on it. Make photocopies of it. And literally, that's what I do with our team. I printed out forms to say who, what, why, where, when, and how, and tell them to keep them in front of them until they get that script down so that they know it. And even then, oh crap, I forgot to ask when.
Yep.
You know, and it's just a thing. Just have it in front of you.
Yep. All right, Brian, I don't think they can handle much more than this today.
I appreciate it, Dale.
Bite-sized chunks. Go and digest the things that we've given you. Listen to your calls. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, sometimes Brian's not here, so I bring on people to actually play their calls and have a live coaching session. If you want to do that, click the link below, submit your calls, and we'll review them to see if you can be a guest on Cash Call. Brian, great talking to you today.
Always,
We'll
Dale.
see them next time. Hey, if you're really enjoying this information and you want some more help for you specifically, 2 things you can do. Click the links below. You can either submit one of your calls and we can play them here and give you feedback, free coaching from 2 veteran sales trainers. Or also, I have a couple of options below where you can get in and get some free training from us and get introduced to our community of other agents and team leaders who are crushing it these days in real estate sales and improving their ability to convert leads, book more appointments, and close more deals.